The American dollar just lost a battle it was never supposed to lose. For the first time in 75 years, multiple major economies are conducting trade without using US currency. China and Brazil finalized a massive deal in yuan and reals, no dollars involved. India and Russia are trading oil in rupees and rubles, completely bypassing the American financial system. Saudi Arabia, America's most reliable Middle Eastern ally, is now accepting yuan for oil sales to China. These aren't just economic transactions. They're direct challenges to the foundation of American global power. And they're accelerating faster than most people realize. The question isn't whether America is still powerful, it obviously is. The question is whether the specific type of dominance America has enjoyed since 1945 is ending. And if you understand what's really happening, the answer is more complicated and more concerning than most experts will admit. To understand if America is losing superpower status, you first need to understand what made it a superpower in the first place. It wasn't just military strength, though America has that. It wasn't just economic size, though America's economy is massive. The real foundation of American superpower status has always been structural dominance, the ability to set the rules of the game itself. After World War II, America built a global system where every major commodity, oil, gas, metals, grain, was priced in dollars. Every country needed dollars to participate in international trade. The dollar became the world's reserve currency, meaning nations held dollars as savings. Not just for transactions, this created something unprecedented in human history. A country that could print its own currency and the entire world would accept it as valuable. When America needed to fund a war, it printed dollars. When America faced an economic crisis, it printed dollars. When America wanted to impose its will on another nation, it could freeze their access to the dollar system, which meant freezing their access to global trade. That's not normal power. That's structural power, the kind that makes you indispensable. But that system is cracking, and it's cracking in ways that are difficult to reverse. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, are actively building alternative financial systems. They're creating their own version of SWIFT, the international payment messaging system that America can weaponize with sanctions. They're establishing currency swap agreements that allow trade without dollars. They're even discussing a shared currency that could challenge dollar dominance in certain regions. China's Belt and Road Initiative has created infrastructure connections across Asia, Africa, and Europe, physical trade routes that don't depend on American-controlled shipping lanes or financial systems. The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, led by China, now has more members than the World Bank and offers financing without the political conditions America typically demands. Meanwhile, America's own actions have accelerated this trend. Every time America freezes another country's dollar reserves, as it did to Russia after the Ukraine invasion, it reminds every other nation that holding dollars means vulnerability to American foreign policy decisions. Every time America uses financial sanctions as a weapon, it motivates other countries to find alternatives. The irony is perfect. America's use of its financial power as a geopolitical tool is directly undermining that same financial power. But here's where it gets more complicated. America isn't collapsing. It's transitioning. Yes, dollar dominance is declining in percentage terms. In 2001, the dollar represented 73% of global reserve currencies. Today, it's around 59%. That's a significant decline, but it's still dominant by any measure. No other single currency comes close. The yuan represents only about 3% of global reserves despite China's massive economy. The euro, despite representing a coalition of wealthy nations, sits around 20%. So while alternatives are emerging, they're not replacing the dollar, they're supplementing it. The world is moving from American monopoly to American plurality. That's still a loss of power, but it's not a collapse. America still has structural advantages that are difficult to challenge. The US military remains unmatched in global power projection. 11 aircraft carrier strike groups that can reach any ocean on Earth. Military bases in over 70 countries. Technology advantages in crucial areas like stealth aircraft, satellite systems, drone warfare that are measured in decades, not years. American universities still attract the world's best talent. Silicon Valley still dominates global technology innovation, even as China catches up in specific sectors. The English language remains the global language of business, science, and diplomacy. American cultural exports movies, music. Social media platforms still shape global consciousness. These advantages won't disappear quickly, but they're being challenged in ways they haven't been since the Cold War. So, is America losing its superpower status? The honest answer is, it's losing its monopoly, not its power. America in 2025 is still the world's most powerful nation by almost any measure. But it's no longer the unchallenged, structural power it was in 1995. It can't unilaterally set global rules the way it could 30 years ago. It can't ignore the interests of China, India, or even mid-sized powers the way it once could. It can't weaponize the financial system without consequences. The world is moving from unipolarity, one superpower, to multipolarities, several major powers competing within a complex system. That's not American decline in absolute terms. America's military is stronger than it was in 1995. America's economy is larger. American technology is more advanced. But relative to others, America's dominance has clearly peaked. And in geopolitics, relative power is what matters. What happens next depends on choices America makes in the next decade. If America adapts to multipolarity, building alliances, competing effectively in technology and manufacturing, maintaining military superiority without overextending it, can remain the most influential power in a multipolar world. If America tries to maintain unipolar dominance through excessive military interventions, weaponizing the financial system, ignoring the interests of rising powers, it will accelerate the very trend it's trying to prevent. The paradox of American power in 2025 is this: America is strong enough to remain dominant if it accepts that dominance will look different than it did before. But if America insists on the type of dominance it had in 1995, it will lose even the possibility of the more limited dominance available today. History suggests that declining powers rarely make this adjustment smoothly. They typically overreach, attempting to maintain what's already slipping away, which accelerates the decline. Will America be different? That's the trillion-dollar question. And the answer will shape the rest of the 21st century.